Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go.
Six.
It's beautiful.
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Monday. And, of course, check out Willis Lexus. Excitement is building for the all-new 2026 Lexus ES redesign. Hybrids continue to be extremely popular, and Lexus is offering strong finance incentives. Now is a great time to buy. Start your buying journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Leave your comments in the comment section. You can always call the show at 515-517-2303 and follow us on our social media channels. Good morning. Happy Monday, Ross Peterson.
What's up, bud? How was the weekend for you?
You know, it was productive. We got some cleaning done. I recorded a couple podcasts over the weekend. John Higgins was over. Everybody drank. Yeah, and then went on a couple nice walks. So, and it's supposed to be like 83, 85 degrees or something like that today. It's going to be nice.
I saw that we were going to have like a bit of a heat wave. Let's see what the weather app says. 80 today, 83 with some rain tomorrow. Dude, yeah, nice. And then this weekend, 52 is the high. Rain and 52 degrees on the weekend, but 80 degrees all week long. All right.
I did notice, like, down in my studio, it's really nice. Upstairs, because it rained a lot the last couple days, it's humid upstairs. I'm like, oh, man, even though with the windows open, it's like, do we turn the air conditioner on just to suck the humidity out?
I didn't even think about that, man. 80 degrees. I mean, low in the 60s. Just open up the windows, maybe feel some cool air. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Better to have 80 than 30.
Before we dive into the Masters and the other stuff that's going on, we kind of had some breaking news that I think people need to keep an eye on. And Ross, you may not even know about this yet because I literally was kind of living in a cave going through some stuff and just found this out. But Chris McIntosh has decided to step down as the athletic director at Wisconsin. This could have a ripple effect. And let me put a name out there. Jamie Pollard, who is a Wisconsin native, who is worked in the Wisconsin athletic department before he came to Iowa State. Wisconsin it seems to be in flux with its football situation, with its basketball situation. And, you know, if Jamie's got one last move in him, would this be the move to make? Or are you perfectly happy to ride off in the sunset at Iowa State? He's got Cy-Town that he's working on, all that stuff. It would not be inconceivable to think of Jamie Pollard going to Wisconsin. This is all just out there.
You didn't say anything to me about this. I'll just react to this the way I normally would in a conversation. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that you and I have always had a very, very, very positive take on Jamie Pollard? We both think he's fantastic at his job. Travis, this has been a rough couple months for Jamie Pollard.
Good point.
It's been a rough run here recently. I mean, you add this Dresser stuff into the mix. That's weird with Metcalf being the new head coach, but Dresser getting a contract extension and putting a thing out. I'm not going anywhere, baby. The gymnastics thing that has happened, losing your football coach, having a mass exodus from football, struggling with some of the fundraising thing that has become the primary deal. Wisconsin ain't swimming in cash. Wisconsin needs a dude that can get the cash. That's what they need. Dude, I don't know. If you'd have said this 2 years ago, I'd have been like, he gone. He's the best athletic director available in the country for Wisconsin to get. They're going to grab him. I don't know right now, Trav. Dude, I have felt in Des Moines amongst my friend group and text groups, and there's been a tidal change happen with how people are perceiving Jamie Pollard.
Well, and familiarity breeds contempt, right? I mean, the longer you stay someplace,
this is more than familiarity. This is a string recently over the last 8-9 months where people are questioning whether or not Jamie Pollard is still doing a good job at Iowa State. The media, there's been dead quiet in the media. They're getting ready to launch their tailgate tour. Dude, I'm blown away at how bad they've handled this news cycle thing. He has not gone out and really, I mean, he's done his video things. That's not what people are used to. Jamie Pollard, they're used to him coming on our show, Murph and Andy, talking with the Des Moines Register and getting his stuff out there and saying, hey, here's what I'm thinking. This is what I'm doing. This is why these things are happening. Yeah, I know it seems like this on the surface, but behind the scenes, here's the things I can tell you that will help you understand how I got to where I am. And for 20 years, we've all been like, man, thanks, Jamie. That's awesome. Now we get it. You're headed in the right direction. As a Hawkeye fan, I have sat back for 20 years and gone, man, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And this last year or so, I've said, ooh, something's changed. It's no longer chatting with the media. It's doing those Bruce Pearl style videos that are produced. You're not.
You can. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. And what I just wanted to follow up on what you were saying. It's that you think you're controlling the message by doing that, but you're leaving more questions about the message by doing that.
And now you're going to ruin your opportunity. So, like, they're getting ready to start their tailgate tour. Well, dude, at the tailgate tour, is everybody going to be like, yeah, Coach Rogers, woo? Or are people going to be going, hey, we got questions about what's going on because we haven't heard any answers? So I am genuinely wondering what's going to happen in these next couple of weeks when they start to get out and do their rah-rah thing, which has always been very successful. And there are people standing around going, before we rah-rah, what's going on with the women's athletics department here? Can you explain more about the gymnastics thing? Can you explain how all the team leaves, but you're keeping Coach Fennelly, who it would have, again, a guy that we love, but can you just explain this stuff to us? And then once you get past those two things, can we talk about wrestling? And the whole time they're going to be like, this is about football. We're supposed to be getting jacked up about football. And there are genuine questions. And especially if the media members are doing their jobs, if the folks that are showing up from Channel 13 and the news and the Des Moines Register are doing their job, they're not just going to sit back and go, oh, okay, rah, Jimmy Rogers, you bet, here we go. No, they're going to say, Coach Fennelly, we've got a question. We got a question.
In full disclosure, after Jamie released his video, I reached out to the athletic department. I said, hey, we'd love to have Jamie come on. I think this is a perfect time. I think there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, or clarification at least. And they declined the opportunity at this time, said maybe at another time we can make it work. But I did reach out and said, hey, we'd love to have Jamie on. And we were turned down for that request.
He's so good that in 5 minutes, in one answer, he could do that thing, and we would go, oh, we were making a mountain out of a molehill here, weren't we? We thought something big was going on inside the athletic department because there's this conspiracy out there of, oh man, everything's going wrong. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Basketball's going great. Basketball had a wonderful weekend. Men's basketball. The men's basketball team had a wonderful weekend. Landed some huge recruits. You see, they're now the number one class in the portal. TJ's kicking ass up there. And again, that shouldn't get lost in the mix. It shouldn't all be questions about what. I feel like if Jamie could get out in front of this, which is very odd. It's odd that he hasn't done the thing that we're talking about here, because that's always been him.
It's been his strength. He's been the power. His strength has been to communicate, to relate, and to connect. And even if it was a line of BS, you kind of bought it, right?
Yeah, right. He was good at that. He's good at, even if it was, what's the right way to say it? Yeah, I guess that's, even if he was lying to us, we didn't know, because he did it with the confidence that we were like, oh yeah, Jamie's really good at this, and we're going to trust him because he's always been really good at this. There will be people as they try to launch this thing, That's what I'm just surprised by that. Again, we didn't know this is not some hot take I was brewing on over the weekend. Travis literally just told me this as we were starting the show. I would be right now. I don't feel like, boy, on both sides of this, Travis. I just don't think this would be a good move for Jamie Pollard to leave right now.
Well,
I'm not sure the people in Wisconsin would see him as being like the big get. And I also think leaving right now while he's in the middle of this Sci-Town project and things are moving in this direction, this is not where Jamie Pollard wants to leave the Iowa State athletic department. I mean, right now is maybe one of the most tumultuous times at Iowa State since Jamie Pollard got there. I don't think he wants to leave it in this condition. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the opportunity is there and the money is a lot greater and he gets to go home and all of those other things.
I don't disagree with anything you just said there. And I didn't mean to drop this on you. I literally, right before we went on the air, I looked down and I saw a tweet and I'm like, Jamie Pollard would be perfect here in Wisconsin. I go, what are you talking about? So I just Googled, I'm like, oh crap, Chris McIntosh is leaving. And then, the only other job that I thought Jamie was really going to be up for was Nebraska. And I do believe he wanted Nebraska. I think at one time. And when they didn't go back to him, I think it was after Trev Alberts, he just said, I'm out. I'm not going to go for that when they brought in, Troy Dannon. But and there wouldn't be many jobs that I think that you could connect Jamie Pollard to. And again, this is just speculation based off of Jamie from Wisconsin, having worked at Wisconsin, and there's that connection there. So you kind of make those connections. But I'm with you. If he left now, his legacy would be tarnished.
Yeah, and don't apologize for dropping this on me. I'm way better when you don't tell me what we're going to talk about. I wouldn't have had that take if you had told me. I would have overthought it and I'd have come back and it wouldn't have been like that. So I'm glad you didn't tell me. I'm glad I didn't know about this. I will be surprised. Just my knee-jerk reaction to it is not now. Not now. And I hope Jamie Pollard gets it going in the right direction. And this is a bump in the road. And 2 or 3 years from now, we look back at it and we go, now this is the condition Jamie Pollard wanted to leave the athletic department in. Look, football's back on top of the Big 12. Basketball's a national powerhouse. Bill Fennelly has sailed off into the sunset and enjoying his retirement. And Jenny Baranchek's here to take over the Iowa State team. And those things could all happen, right? In 2 years, all those three things could all happen.
McIntosh is leaving Wisconsin to become an associate commissioner of the Big Ten Conference. So he's staying in athletics.
I don't even know who this guy is. So.
Well, he's the athletic. Let me ask you:
he's the AD at Wisconsin? Is he really?
Yes,
and let me guess,
yes.
he's going to be and now he's going to be a part of the Big Ten.
Yes.
I know this guy's resume.
Yeah, you're right. He's one of
Chris
these
McIntyre.
guys. He's one of these guys that is not a familiar AD, right? You say his name. If you would have said his name an hour ago, I would have said you're like, who is that guy? Well, is Wisconsin a good job? I think it is.
Dude, these are the things I defer to you on. Can you explain to me why or how it's a good job? I mean, obviously it's Big Ten.
I think it is when you are really the only, nothing against Marquette, nothing against UW Wisconsin, UW Green Bay. You're the only Division I football team in a really big state.
In a big state.
In a big state.
Dude, yeah.
You have a strong football program, or has been, or historically.
Strong, yeah. I think you start winning some games, and people are going to be fired up to be back a part of that. Yeah,
you have a pretty strong basketball program.
They weren't fun, but they were good.
Yes.
Right?
You have a very strong hockey program that just got beat in the national championship game.
Oh wow.
So you have a fan base that I think is pretty rabid. So when you're the only game in town, essentially, football-wise, the only thing you're competing against are the Green Bay Packers. And that's not...
I've told you this. My cousins from up in Wisconsin, it's wild having sports conversations with them. It's really fun to sit in a circle with my Wisconsin cousins because... I've told you this. If you get eight guys together in Des Moines, you're going to have 3 Hawkeye fans, 3 Cyclone fans, a Nebraska fan, and a K-State fan. You know what I mean? An Illinois fan, a Colorado fan. You go to Wisconsin, you know what that 8 group of guys is? 8 Badger fans, 8 Packer fans, 8 Brewer fans, 8. I mean, there's no dissension amongst the ranks in a fan base up in Wisconsin. Marquette's kind of like their UNI and Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we'll root for Marquette too until they play the Badgers.
Well, I think a better one would be, it's Nebraska and Creighton, right? They call them Jaskers. Like, oh, I'm a Creighton basketball fan, but I'm a Husker football fan, unless they pay to get, they play against one another. Now, whoever the next athletic director is going to be at Wisconsin, you're probably going to have to hire a football coach after next year. Luke Fickell got the extension, but let's be honest, he's on a very, 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 very short leash.
I don't have my let's see. I don't have my laptop with me right now. So let me just see. What's Wisconsin's football schedule like next year? Do you know?
Well, we can pull that up real quick.
I'm looking at her, buddy. Wisconsin's 2026 football schedule reads as such.
The fact that you laugh says that Luke Fickell is going to have a hard time keeping his job.
Sunday, September 6th in Green Bay, Wisconsin, they will host Notre Dame. 0-1. Western Illinois and Eastern Michigan. They play at Penn State. They host Michigan State. They play at UCLA, USC, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, and Minnesota. I mean, let's just give them the benefit of doubt. Let's say Luke Fickell turns things around. They beat Minnesota, Purdue, Maryland, Rutgers. There's 4. Let's say they beat UCLA. There's 5. You know what? Win their non-cons of Eastern Michigan and Western Illinois, and they're a 7-win football team. But that's beating Minnesota, at Purdue, at Maryland, Rutgers. Oh, maybe you'll get to 7. That's a tough start.
7 wins may not be enough to keep it. With a new athletic director, may not be enough to keep your job.
Brutal. Your first game is Notre Dame.
In Green Bay.
Then you play at Penn State. Michigan State. Do they beat Michigan State?
Depends on what Fitzgerald can put together up there, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I take Fitzgerald in that matchup. We'll see. Maybe you're hiring a new football coach. Maybe not. I think that you're way better, Travis, at is it a good job or not? Is that a good job in the Big Ten? How about that? There's a better question. Nationwide, it makes sense that it's a big job. You've got a big brand. In the Big Ten, is being the athletic, where does it? If I said rank the athletic director jobs in the Big Ten, how far down is Wisconsin?
Probably
middle of the road, right?
Probably middle of the road. I think that's a good place to put it.
Is that where Iowa would be?
Yeah, I think Iowa's middle of the road.
Slightly above Wisconsin or below them?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Might be even, maybe even to a little bit better.
Okay.
And it might just
you don't
be
have
because
those advantages
there's stability
you
right
talked about.
now. Yeah,
stability. Right. There you go. There's stability. Is there?
I think even under Gary Barta, there was stability. Not that I agreed with everything Gary Barta did, but
they weren't turning people over left and right. That's right. You don't. Do you have so like the women's basketball program at Wisconsin is one of those historically awful. I mean, they can't. It's been hilariously bad. Does Iowa have a program like that?
That's historically bad?
And I mean, if Wisconsin women's basketball is like, it's kind of almost a funny thing up there.
God, I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Tyler said volleyball. I guess I've never once heard of Iowa volleyball. So probably, Tyler, good call, brother. Good call.
That is a very good call.
Fair.
But let's be honest. You really only need, if you're Wisconsin, you need 3 sports to succeed. Football,
men's basketball,
and hockey. You do need hockey. I mean, hockey's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if hockey's a revenue sport at Wisconsin. I have to check the numbers. Now, Wisconsin's very good at volleyball. Their preeminent women's sport is volleyball. They've won national titles, been to Final Fours. Volleyball is their women's sport.
Hey, I've never heard of the Iowa softball team being perennial powerhouse. I had friends that played Iowa softball back in the 90s, the Knopf sisters. What's up, Jill and Carrie? And they were good, but I don't remember. I don't hear about, the Iowa baseball team every few years. We're like, hey, they got a shot at getting to the College World Series. Anyway,
if he's going to stay at Iowa State, I mean, because he's had to deal with rumors of Matt Campbell leaving, which he did, had to deal with the rumors of TJ Otzelberger getting courted by North Carolina. Should Jamie Pollard come out and say, hey, I'm Cyclone through and through, this is where I'm going to finish my career? No.
I mean, no, don't do that. Don't do that unless you know that's actually the truth.
Well, that's fair.
Unless TJ didn't say he was never, ever leaving you guys, ever, never, ever. And even then, I don't think I'd say it. Can you come out and say, hey, guys, good news. Despite the phone ringing, I'm here. I'm going to see this through. I know that things have not been great here lately. And I know that from your perception in the grandstands, it looks like things are unraveling. Let me explain to you what's happened behind the scenes. Let me explain to you some of the things that I have for the vision of this and why I decided to turn down a job. You don't have to say, you don't even have to say oh yeah, I got a phone call from Wisconsin. You can just say, hey, Cyclone fans, let's chat. Let's fireside chat with Jamie Pollard for a minute. I know things seem like they're weird right now. Wasn't that? And he tried to do that. He tried to do hey, wasn't basketball fun? Wasn't that awesome? Now let's talk about some other stuff. He tried to do that and it kind of fell flat. But maybe this would be another opportunity, Travis, to do that same sort of thing. Come out and go, hey, we're going to take another swing at this deal. I want to try to explain to you guys what's going on. And I'm sticking around. I had an opportunity to leave, and I don't want to leave because I see this vision that I had for what this could be. I want to see that through. Would that win over people? Do you need to win over people as the athletic director? Do you need to win over people?
Yes, you do. Big time.
Do you need to win over the fan base, though? What I mean by that, you got to win over the money people. The big donors, those are the guys you got to win over. Do you have to win over the fans?
I think so, because he's done such a good job of establishing the culture at Iowa State within most of those athletic teams, right? I mean, they all talk about leadership. They all talk about, what Jamie's done for their program. So I think it's trickled down to the fans. Jamie's probably one of the most visible athletic directors amongst fan bases. Troy Dannon's not very visible in Nebraska. I would say Beth Getz is visible, but not
in the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that Jamie Pollard runs the athletic department. Most other ADs, they manage, but they let their coaches handle the rest. Jamie's much more visible than other athletic directors, and so I think he likes that fan interaction. Now, if he were to leave for Wisconsin, there's 100 million reasons why, and the 100 million. I mean, if you're getting 100 million in Big Ten money every single year,
dude, I thought you meant salary.
No. No, he's not going to make $100 million.
So dumb. Sometimes my brain is so dumb, dude.
It was funny. Your eyebrow went up. You're like, huh? Yeah, I would leave for
He's leaving. They're paying that. That's why their football team sucks. They're paying the AD too much. I can figure this out.
But when you're the only game in town going after donors for NIL money, you get $100 million a year in Big Ten money. There's a lot more stability. Even though the Big 12's on a much better track than it has been in a long time, you're still you're fighting a couple of different forces there. And somebody said earlier, at this age, would you make the move? He's not that old.
How old is Jamie?
I think he's my age, 55, 56.
I thought he was older than that.
Is he older than me? I thought he was my age.
61.
Only 61.
According to the internet, I now know Jamie Pollard's birthday.
That's not old. And when you're competitive, and people like challenges, it'd be interesting to see how this unfolds. If it's just our speculation this morning, and it's fun to speculate when jobs like this open up.
Let me ask you the thing about going home. How give me one. If you were offered a chance to go back to Minden, Iowa.
No, I wouldn't go.
Okay. If I say, Travis, where is home?
Right now, I've lived in this house.
No. You're in Italy.
Okay.
You're in Italy, and some guy says, "Hey, tell me about your hometown." What town are you describing?
Omaha.
That's where you raised your family.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's where you've been for 20 plus years. This always bothers me when people do. I would think that Jamie Pollard, having come to Iowa State, having made Ames part of his identity, having become a part of the culture of Ames, having raised his family in the community, that isn't still sitting around going, man, if I could just get back to Oshkosh. Oh, gee. Could it be used? I think that's a manipulation on our emotions.
That's fair.
I think, when Fred Hoiberg goes to Nebraska and he's like, Grandpa was fired from here. I always wanted to coach here. I think we're pulling on some loose strings here. And I think that for Jamie Pollard to say, oh, man, he's got an opportunity to go back home like he's always wanted. He's always just wanted that warm fire of Oshkosh. Well, then why is he stuck around here so long and done all these things that ingrained himself into our community? If he always wanted to be somewhere else, if his heart was always in some other place, why'd we let him make so many decisions about what this place was going to look like for 25? Right? Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's the narrative that you look to tell a story to make a connection with somebody, right?
Exactly right. When the truth is, why'd you go? They got $100 million for me to spend.
Fred Hoiberg's a great example. Fred Hoiberg is from Ames, Iowa. Right? I mean, he grew up there, went to high school there, went to college there. You look for the connection. Well, his grandpa was there, so he was born there, so therefore that's home. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
But if he's there 10 more years, Lincoln might be home then because that's where you've put your roots down.
Yes. That again, agree that would make sense. And there's other stuff there. But when you said that thing, if he's from Wisconsin, he could go back home. I was like, no, I'm not going to let that one fly.
That's fair.
That's a tactic.
Fair. That's fair. I'll give it to you.
Troy Dannon didn't move back to Nebraska because it was closer to home.
No.
Why did he move back to Nebraska?
Money.
They paid him $1 million in moving expenses, guys.
If you're done growing your family, a vasectomy might be the right next step. At Urology Center of Iowa, they offer a no-scalpel procedure designed to be simple, safe, and convenient. It's performed in the Des Moines area by specialists who focus on men's health every single day. Take control of your future with confidence. Visit iowauro.com and click Schedule an Appointment. At Urology Center of Iowa, we see you. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire, a front row tickets to every show-yonaire, a hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
When you work with a company like Mr. Electric that goes above and beyond and makes the customer their priority, that is just a real joy to encounter these days. It was a fairly complicated project and it was intimidating. They made it look so easy and they were very professional, very clean folks. They thoroughly explain what they're going to do. It's clear that they're experienced and that they know what they're doing. Having professionals out there that can do that for me, that gives me a lot of peace of mind.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat, Norm. Norm knows basketball, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert. Please call me. I would love to help you.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Todd Lee, sales and leasing consultant here at Willis Cadillac. Spring is here and flowers are in bloom. And by flowers, we mean our amazing inventory of Cadillac CT5s and XT5s. And with interest rates as low as 2.9%, now's a great time to stop in Willis Cadillac and pick one up. From sedans to SUVs, Willis has what you're looking for. Stop out and see us or visit us online at williscadillac.com.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Do you need new floors? Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant has you covered with carpet, hardwood, tile, luxury vinyl, and more, plus expert sales and installation you can trust. That's Iowa Floor Covering. Good people, great floors. Visit iowafloorcovering.com today. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Happy Monday, everybody. Listen to Ross sing a little bit.
Not singing. That's something else.
Humming. Of course, we talked a lot about Jamie Pollard in the first segment. Keeping it on the Iowa State theme, Milan Momcilovic has declared for the NBA draft and put his name into the transfer portal, with the full focus being on an NBA player. He says his lifelong dream is to play in the NBA. He'll go through the evaluation process, Ross. If that doesn't work out, his name is in the transfer portal, where he, right when his name went in the transfer portal, he's the number one player in the transfer portal. He was the best three-point shooter in college basketball this past season. Would be able to offer a lot of teams some skill that they would definitely want on the basketball floor. He's projected to be a second-round draft pick. You know, now, second rounders make anywhere between 1.2 to 2 million, a little bit over $2 million a year. Second round contracts aren't guaranteed. There are exceptions to the rule. Bronny James got a guaranteed 4-year deal. You can negotiate that. But I mean, I get why Milan is doing this, and I get why TJ Otzelberger says, "Hey, you know, we've got to continue to build if you're going to leave." I mean, it's one of those things. He's played 3 years. If just by chance, let's say it comes out and says you might not get drafted, and he ends up someplace else, does that tarnish his?
Tarnish his what? Finish that. Tarnish his legacy at Iowa State.
Yeah.
Tarnish is a weird word. I don't like diminish, maybe. Meaning, I don't think I think we're getting to that point where people are going to look past this. Maybe. Going and playing your senior season at another school.
Which I don't think he will. I think he ends up in the NBA.
Okay.
I need to back up and punt because by throwing your name into the transfer portal, what is happening right now, Ross?
He's getting $3 million offers. He's getting $3 million offers. And then what's the second round two-way player? Does he want to go back and forth between, Minneapolis and Des Moines next year? Where he's not going to make $3 million doing that. I don't know. Trav, let's play the chessboard out here for a while. Let's say that he does go to the NBA. Then there is no harm, no foul. He goes into that same group as all of those other Cyclone NBA guys. Even if he's a two-way player and he gets some time, and Cyclone fans have shown they follow these dudes and love them, and they're going to buy Denver Nuggets jerseys with Momcilovic on the back and all that, and that's great. There's Avenue A. Now Avenue B. Let's say if he gets drafted in the second round or doesn't get drafted and decides he's back in the portal, he can go make $3 million playing. Where he plays will matter, will affect how then this is another diversion on the board. He goes to Kansas. Yeah, he tarnished, diminished, ruined that legacy that he would have had in Ames, Iowa. The other side of it is, let's say he goes to a Florida, out of sight, out of mind type of thing. They never play Iowa State. He doesn't have, and I'm not saying he's going to Kansas, guys. Captain Kirk, he's not going to Kansas. I didn't say that. I'm playing out the scenarios in my head, the possibilities, and I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you'd react if he ends up at different places. It's a whole spectrum of stuff. Kansas is way over here. Over here is, Cal Poly. He ends up at some school. You never watch him play. You don't have to watch his highlights every night. Something like that. He never comes and destroys Iowa State or plays against Iowa State. Then does it diminish it? Maybe a little bit because he played his senior season somewhere else, but I don't think it hurts it as much as if it's someplace where, if he runs into Iowa State next year in the NCAA tournament, hits a couple of big shots. Oh, dude. That diminishes his legacy at Iowa State. We had an interesting conversation in the text group on Friday, Trav. I'd like to bring you in on. Okay. Because one of the guys in our group says, man, Alvaro Fargueras is gone, right? He's entering the transfer portal and leaving Iowa. And one of the guys says, well, he's at least a dude that will never have to buy another beer in Iowa City. And I pushed back on that. I said, no, first of all, that's a way overused line. There are very, 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 very few guys that fit into the category of never have to buy a beer again in a town. And Alvaro Fargueras hit a couple of big shots, huge shots. My take is in 5 years, the majority of Hawkeye fans, and I know there's passionate guys that have a IQ that are crazy. Their memory for Hawkeye basketball is off the charts. They're never, ever, ever going to forget Alvaro Fargueras because they can remember Jeff Moe and Steve Carfino.
Steve Carfino. One of my favorite Hawks of all time.
I posit that in 5 years, I'm going to be at a bar having a conversation, and one of my Hawkeye friends is going to go, what was that dude that hit that shot? What was that guy's name? What was his name? We'll have to Google it to see. Oh, yeah, Alvaro Fargueras. Remember that That wasn't how we said it. How did we say it? I really don't think it's the type of thing where a bartender or a waitress is like, oh, my God, that's Alvaro Fargueras. We're going to... Guys, It's past the hat. We're making sure Alvaro drinks for free tonight.
He got us to the Elite Eight. I kind of fall into you. Matter of fact, I agree with you 100%. In 5 years, if everything goes the way we think it's going to go with Ben McCollum, you're not going to remember. You're going to go, that was a good season. Who was that guy that hit the shot?
And that's 5 years. Forever? So I even tried to throw some names out there. Like, do you think that Chuck Long has ever bought a beer in Iowa City?
Do I? Yeah, I think he's bought a beer.
I do too. I think that Chuck Long has gone into a bar, ordered a beer, and the person at the bar didn't know who he was. Now, if that happened to Chuck Long over time, it's going to happen to Alvaro Fulgaris. So I even reached out to Kluve, and I said, hey, I'm having a conversation. I got a question for you. Who do you know that would fit into this? Name a guy that you think falls into the category of never has to buy a beer again in Iowa City. And he came up with a name that I think right now it very much fits. And I think that Caitlin Clark is the obvious one. Caitlin's super duper famous, right? Amazing. Cooper DeJean. Very recognizable. Guys love him. Girls love him. I bet Cooper DeJean for a long time. Now, I don't say forever because, again, there's going to come a time he's going to walk into a bar with his grandkids and some guy's not going to know who the hell Cooper DeJean was. So even he doesn't apply in the never have to buy a beer again thing.
Yeah, because it's all recency bias.
Yes. So I thought it was a fun conversation to think about, though. Who are those guys? So, like, if I said, name a guy in Ames that never has to buy a beer again.
George Niang.
That's a good one. I think people love. Yeah, George is loved up there, big time.
And it's more for his personality. You know, George was at the Luke Combs concert this week.
Was he really?
He was on stage, and I saw Brett Bloom.
So good, dude.
And Bloom, he's not wrong. He's like, this is what when a person sticks with a program for 4 years, what can happen. Now, to be fair, would George have stuck around in today's NIL world?
That's a good question. That's a fair question, Travis.
Yeah,
that's a fair. I mean, I've said this over and over. They really should have George talk to the incoming freshmen. I mean it. George Niang should have it when they do freshman orientation for the athletes. It should be a George Niang press conference, and he should get up and he should say, "Let me explain to you how great it is to embrace this community and how they embrace you back and what I've benefited from this. Here's the way to do this, guys. Say some nice things about them. Show up at events. Be nice to people. Remember a few names. Go on a few shows.
Poke the Hawkeyes a little bit.
Like, poke the Hawkeyes. Have some fun with this stuff, and they're going to love you forever. That seemed like, wasn't it raining on Friday night when he was up there? Did you see any videos of it?
I think a little bit. I saw a couple shots. There was a lot of people there. But yeah,
I didn't say there was a lot of people. I just wondered if it was. Yeah, it seemed like a miserable experience because Friday night it was just drizzling the whole time.
Yeah, but I think George would be one of those guys. Otherwise, it just. Your time of never buying a beer is usually about 4 to 5 years. Then
the never have to buy a beer thing is ridiculous. Because again, name Troy Davis. You think Troy Davis had to buy a beer at some point in Ames?
Yeah, because if Troy Davis walked into a bar now, nobody would know who Troy Davis was.
Did Troy Davis have a bigger impact on Iowa State than Alvaro Fulgaris had at Iowa?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, the people that never have to buy a beer again are the people that are continually seen, meaning George Niang. Dan McCarney would be a guy that probably never has to buy a beer.
Yeah, you just hit it, dude. I almost hit the wrong one. LaDoylinator nailed it. Kirk Ferentz should be recognized everywhere. So if you change it to coaches, if you add coaches into the mix, Dan Gable, Dan McCarney's a great one. Fred Hoiberg, quite frankly, in Ames. Fred's such a recognizable guy. I could see Fred walking into a bar and somebody going, I want to buy that guy a beer. Why do you want to buy that guy a beer? He's got plenty of money because of all the freaking fun he's provided in my life, man.
You know who else? And I'm going to take it a completely different direction. Gary Dolphin and John Walters. Just because you are so associated.
Good
call.
Kodalak.
Never have to buy it.
Zabel never paid for a meal because he'd run out on him. Okay, I'm joking. That's the old joke. It's a Willie Farrell.
But your play-by-play people become almost a fixture within the athletic department. Coaches are rare. If you've had, McCarney's personality and that he always loves Iowa State and continues to come back.
Well, and Travis, the coaches thing, we had more years with them.
Yes.
First of all, way more recognizable because we saw their faces a lot more. I mean, Cooper, football's hard because of the helmets, quite frankly. I mean, dude, I met Tim Dwight and didn't recognize him. And he's like the second most recognizable Hawkeye of all time. Probably saw him without his helmet as much as any other besides Chuck Long. And I didn't recognize him when I met him. So football's a little bit different, but the coaches, we see their faces for years. So I think that the coach, that's a good one. Kirk Ferentz, thank you so much. What was his name? It was a funny name. LaDoylinator? Thank you, LaDoylinator. You're absolutely right. And quite frankly, I didn't even notice this. Driftless put in right before that, Hayden Fry. So the coaches, that's like almost like a different category, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because with the coaches, all of a sudden I go, oh yeah. Kirk Ferentz is going to walk into any restaurant on the eastern side of Iowa, and people are going to be like, holy, Kirk Ferentz just walked in. Or you'll be like me and you'll go, man, that guy looked a lot like Kirk Ferentz, didn't he?
And the beer comment came up because I think they used it on the CBS play-by-play. Remember when he hit the shot? He'll never have to buy a beer. So people jump along on side.
Oh, is that where that came from? Okay.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just wrote that in our group chat, and I was like, hey, I don't agree with that. I think that that's an overused cliche line. And it started a really fun conversation. Our buddies were like, no, I think that applies. It was a split group where guys were like, no, what about this guy? What about this guy? You're throwing names out there. That was kind of fun to just think about those dudes that maybe could fall into that category.
Were you surprised that Fulgaris entered the transfer portal? It didn't seem that surprising once you started going. And it wasn't, I mean, the Florida game and the Nebraska game are what you remember. But let's be honest, the guy was not existent against Illinois. Yeah. And he I wouldn't say
he didn't get on the court a lot. I mean, Ben McCollum just didn't think he gave the best opportunity. So, no, I wasn't surprised that he goes in the transfer portal. And Travis, to go back to where we started this conversation about Milan, I think you nailed it about the TJ's angle on that, where TJ had and our buddy Ryan Grove he's a diehard Cyclone fan. He's the guy that's been keeping us up to date on all the transfer portal news with Iowa State. But he right away said, hey, I can't blame, and I think a lot of Iowa State fans should take this attitude. I can't blame Milan for testing the waters, and I also can't blame TJ for saying, all right, we got to move forward. I can't hold a starting position and several $1 million in NIL waiting until the end of the month or into the next month. We got to move forward. Sorry. We're going to build a team.
What's the difference between Milan and Audie Crooks? Is it because you have a legitimate NBA opportunity? However, if it doesn't work out, you're going to make millions being the number one player in the portal. Probably more than Iowa State can afford to pay. But Audie, we're going to view Milan much differently than maybe Audie, right? And Audie's now being rumored to be going to Notre Dame. Nothing official, but because there's creepers out there, she's now following Notre Dame women's basketball on Instagram.
Well, dude, sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire.
It's true.
All right. It's funny because, Trav, what you started to say there about Milan outside of the NBA draft thing applies to Audie. if she's got an opportunity to make, there's big differences between those two. I like this thing that you've laid out there. What's the differences between Milan and Audi? A couple big ones, but the biggest is our connection to her, to the athlete. That's the biggest one. As weird as is geography. Milan was recruited to come to Iowa State, probably came just because of TJ, and was a great player for 3 years and provided all sorts of wonderful memories and was one of the best offensive players in the country. With the exception of that first line of recruited by TJ, all that other stuff applies to Audie. But the difference is she didn't come because of Bill Fennelly. Audie came because she's one of us. And that's why it's different. When Audie decides to leave, I don't. This sounds stupid, but it hurts more.
I can buy that.
When you've got little girls with a bunch of jerseys, it's different than we got to get a new guy who can hit 3-pointers. The guys from Wisconsin that can hit 3-pointers, they're not necessarily a dime a dozen, but TJ's going to get one. And Audie Crooks, that makes the connection to the community the way that she did, that has the opportunities and with the offensive prowess that she had, that doesn't come around a lot. Not Bishop Garrigan, or what was that what it was?
Yeah, Algona.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, she went to Bishop Garrigan.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I think that there's layers to it, man. There's ingredients in the cake. And one of Audie's ingredients in the cake was hometown, home girl. And for Milan, not that the Iowa State fans didn't welcome him in and open up all those same opportunities and doors. It was different. It was different. There's a lot of people, Travis, to go back to our first conversation and in fact, I saw Kaylin writing about it. Kaylin Robinson, one of our female listeners, wrote and said this when we were talking about Jamie. A lot of people are pointing at Jamie for the reason Audie's leaving. Audie's mom went on Keith Murphy's Facebook page. Did you see this comment? Did I tell you about this?
I did not know. I haven't. This first time hearing about this, but I live in a bubble sometimes.
Keith posted the thing about, and I don't remember which story it was now. I don't even remember which story it was, if it was about Jamie or if it was about Audie or if it was about the women's basketball team or some of the changes. And Audie's mom posted on there and said, maybe you should have gotten to know some of the players. Now, was she talking about Keith Murphy going to meet some of the players? Was she talking about Jamie Pollard going to? I don't know, but I saw that and went, that's odd. I wonder what the intent was there. It seemed to me to be directed at Jamie Pollard, not at Murph.
Interesting.
And there are people that have said that I don't know, man. I'm reading the tea leaves of what's happened out of Ames here recently because we aren't getting the access to information that we used to. There's not this open flow to what Jamie Pollard has been thinking that we've had for like almost 20 years. And you've got a lot of things that are getting confusing here. Women's gymnastics program being eliminated, and it's an ongoing issue that's specific to the gymnastic program. What? Football team has a mass exodus. That one can be explained away as it's all about money and opportunity. Basketball team has a mass exodus in the midst of all this rumors of, well, maybe it's because Bill Fennelly's getting ready to retire. Well, maybe now's the time to reset everything. And then you get all the girls leave and okay, shoot, this is getting weird. The wrestling thing over the weekend, odd. And I also wondered, this is where my brain is, and I'm sorry. I did wonder if these news cycles weren't planned a little bit. The Metcalf and Dresser news got lost because of the portal stuff.
By the way, is that official?
I mean, I thought I saw stuff. Am I crazy? Maybe, dude, I'm glad you just said this. Did I get?
I mean, I saw it, but I never saw from I was confused by that whole story. I was very confused by it. But I could be wrong.
I mean, dude, I'm seeing. Okay, this is from the Pin Doctors, and I just did a quick Google search on my phone here, so I apologize. The Pin Doctors, which is a wrestling account on Facebook, and they do a really good job. Shout out to former NCAA national champion Hawkeye Brett Metcalf for being named the new head coach for the Iowa State wrestling team. He accepted this position after spending the last several seasons as an assistant coach there behind Kevin Dresser. Edit. It sounds like Dresser is going to help Metcalf transition into the role. What do you see?
Well, I'm on Cyclones.com, and there's no announcement of this. Because I saw the same thing you saw last week, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. And then when Dresser comes out and says, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm here for another couple of years. His tweet was, my contract goes through 29. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It was like that Wolf of Wall Street thing. I'm not leaving. So, dude, I don't know what to make of it then. I'm glad you just told me that, because I saw those two things and accepted them as fact, like I did the moon landing. And then you look at it and you go, wait,
I see what you did there.
Just having funsies, Kay.
Poking the bear a little bit. That's why we love you, Ross.
I know.
That's why we love you.
I'm glad somebody does. Is that humming? If I'm doing mouth trumpet, is that humming?
Sprint car fans, don't miss your chance to win race tickets and a VIP experience at the Iowa Lottery Duel at Davenport on Monday, June 1st, or the Iowa Lottery Shelby County Showdown on Thursday, June 11th, including a meet and greet with championship driver Kyle Larson. Iowa Lottery VIP club members can enter their non-winning Diamond Dollar scratch tickets into their VIP account up until no, that's already started. So you have some time to get those Diamond Dollar scratch tickets, your losers, into your VIP club account. If you're not a VIP club member, you can become one for free by going to iowalottery.com/VIP.
If I asked you to go to watch sprint car races at one of those places, that Davenport would be tough for you.
Shelby County's easy.
Would you go to Shelby County? That would be a blast.
Yes.
All right. I think we look into that, okay?
I love sprint car racing. Live.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love it live.
I knew your Danny Young story, but I didn't know you like sprint car racing. That's my favorite style of racing.
Yeah. I'd rather watch sprint cars than like late models or modifieds. Doesn't do anything for me. Watching the crazy ass shit those guys do on the track.
Oh, Ryan said I'd be down. Maybe we make something of this. Shelby County, get ready.
We're all coming to Harlan. We'll stop by KNOD and check out the old studios I used to work in. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
At Iowa Floor Covering, we believe great floors start with great service. Whether you're looking for a plush carpet, durable LVP, timeless hardwood, stylish laminate, or beautiful tile, including custom tile showers, we'll help you find the perfect fit. No pressure, no pushy sales tactics. just honest guidance from a team that listens. DIY Weekend Warrior, we've got the products and advice to set you up for success. Iowa Floor Covering, floors you'll love from people you can trust.
There are a lot of reasons to want a self-driving mower from Iowa Mobotics.
Being automated gives me more time to do my hobbies.
I travel so much for work that I don't have time to take care of the lawn, but I still care about how it looks.
And I'm just lazy. Gives me time to work in the wood shop instead of spending it on the mower.
It works in my schedule.
And I just really hate doing it.
No matter your reason, with Iowa Mobotics, spend less time mowing, more time living.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity, and this month we have some exciting new offers going on. Take advantage of up to $6,000 in retail cash on an all-new 2026 QX60, or lease a QX60 autograph for as low as $799 with $39.99 down. Also, on this beautiful QX80, take advantage of up to $9,000 in retail cash, or 0% at 60 months on the QX80 Autograph or Sport. For more information on these exciting offers and more, visit our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Multiple brands and models, including the Volvo EX90 and the Infiniti QX80. They've earned a spot on the 2026 IIHS Top Safety Picks list. Start your buying journey today at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, leave your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can always call the show at 515-517-2303 and follow us on our social media channels. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Good to have you here. Coming up at 7:30, Blake Boldon, the executive director of the Drake Relay, is going to be joining us. Drake Relay is just right around the corner, and we'll be catching up with Blake. He'll give us some insight of what's coming up at this year's Drake Relays, which is, I believe, a couple weeks out. So get ready for that. Don't forget Bacon Fest coming up this weekend. I'll be hanging out at Bacon Fest on Saturday down at
Fest
Bacon
this weekend.
Fest. It's this weekend, yeah. Yeah, I talked to Brooks over the weekend, and he's all geared up. He's a lot less stressed. He's like, I've got a lot of stuff to do, but he goes, at least it's not like putting on this major production. It'd be about 500 people down there, so that'd be good. It'd be good. Now, Ross, you watched Roy McIlroy has won back-to-back Masters, just the fourth golfer to do so, first since Tiger in 01 and 02. And you found yourself, there was some drama. I mean, He collapsed on Saturday, lost the lead a little bit on Sunday, but kind of drew people in to watch that.
Did you watch it, Travis? Were you?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I've been busy.
Then you missed this, and I don't think it shows up in it because it ended up being anticlimactic, but on 18, Rory hit his drive into the woods.
Because he bogeyed 18, right?
He bogeyed 18, and had he double bogeyed, he would have dropped down into a tie with Scotty Scheffler, who was playing really hot golf towards the end of his round. And honestly, if it would have gone into a playoff, you would have had to have put the money on Scotty, because it would have meant Rory had double bogeyed 18 while Scotty had been sitting there. And I don't know. I'd want to talk to some better golfers to know if that would have been an advantage for Scotty to have sat around for, 20 minutes, half hour, waiting for Rory to finish up. But yeah, on the tee box, Rory sliced his drive. He hit it 20 yards right of where he wanted to hit it.
It's not where I wanted to go. Oh, don't worry. I would have been about 200 yards back of you in the gallery.
There was another fair. Had he hit it as bad as you and I hit it, it would have landed in another fairway a la Grand View. You know what I mean? And he could have just played that fairway up and then chipped over like me and my buddies do.
Are you out of bounds? No, I'm just on the fairway over.
Yeah,
I'm hitting out on the fairway.
I'm just on 12. I'll see you guys up there. He did. He sliced his drive a little bit into the woods, and it was like, oh, maybe the gap is open a little bit here. And then when he hit his when he hit his out, he put it into the bunker, but it was the green side bunker. He chipped up close, was able to 2-putt in and win it. And it ended up not being, but there was a moment on 18 green. He hit that ball and went, oh, he's going to collapse. It's going to happen. And I feel like he's gotten that monkey off his back. I mean,
I was going to ask you about the monkey because, we use that, as a term that, people carry that weight, right? It's like when Roger Bannister, everybody tried to break the 4-minute mile. Once Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, a ton of people broke the 4-minute mile. Rory, it was always like, can he win the Masters? Can he win the Masters? Took him so long to win the Masters. Won it last year, and now becomes, the fourth player in history to win back-to-back, but also the fourth, Ross, to lead from or co-lead in all 4 rounds, right? I mean, usually you see a first-round leader, they don't end up winning it. He was there all 4 days. Do you think? I mean, I think just taking that pressure of winning that first one, you relieve a lot of anxiety, stress. You're like, okay, I've been here before. I've won this thing. You don't maybe second guess yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it, Trav, is that, dude, we talk about this in all the sports, it takes, sometimes you get up there and the lights are really bright and it's like, oh crap. The pressure gets to you. And then the next year you see a team show up and they're like, all right, now we're used to this. We're used to this heat. We know what happens here. And I do think that having that experience in the playoffs or having experience in whatever having experience of doing it, of finishing it. And then you're on the 15th tee box and you're not going, oh my God, I can't. You're on the 15th tee box going, okay, I remember how this goes. I remember this feeling. All right, I'm comfortable here because I win these things. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I was just trying to look up winners by age. How old were guys when they won? And that's I couldn't find an easy list right away with that because it doesn't seem to me. I mean, I know Rory's been around a long time, man. He's been a professional golfer since his early 20s, and now he's like 35.
I think Jack is the oldest at 46 or 48 or something like that.
Tiger's the youngest.
Tiger's the youngest, and then and Jack's the oldest.
I tried to do Masters winners' ages to see if I could find out who the oldest was, and where Rory's at. Because it doesn't seem to me like he's that old. Oh, that was a big sneeze.
Yeah, Jack was the oldest at 46 years, 2 months, and 23 days. By the way, that was his 18th and final major championship.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I mean, really, Trav, when you look at the oldest Masters winners, Jack at 46, Tiger at 43, Crenshaw at 43, Gary Player at 42, Sam Snead at 41, Mark O'Meara at 41, and Ben Hogan at 40. Those are the oldest. So maybe 34 when he won his first one isn't as old as young as I thought.
Yeah, the window's pretty tight, right? But now he's got 2. And hell, who says he can't win another?
Are you how do I want to say this? I think it is. Are you a Rory fan? Can you find yourself rooting for Rory McIlroy?
I am agnostic when it comes to Rory McIlroy.
So let me ask this: Is there a golfer you do find yourself rooting for?
probably not really. Yeah. Maybe Bryson, but when you don't even make the cut, you're kind of out.
I was watching his 3D printed 5-iron or whatever it was that you were telling me about. I was curious because oh man, because you said, what if this really goes well for the guy? And I was like, it won't matter because people think Bryson's just too cute. He's way too smart for the game and all that. And then he ended up not even making the cut. That's funny that you'd say Bryson. Okay.
But
okay.
I'm trying to think if there's any golfer that draws me in from a personality. And maybe it's Bryson's personality. I think I rooted against. I love Tiger early on. And then when you win so much, you become the villain. And then when you make a comeback and you seem to change your personality, you're drawn to it. But we're drawn to personalities. Now, I know there's going to be some people who are drawn to the style of play, but I'm drawn to a personality. That's what makes me want to follow somebody.
That's funny. The style of play, that's an interesting one, Trav, because I'm not enough of a golf aficionado to recognize different styles of play. To me, hit the ball far and get it in the hole as fast as possible.
Yeah.
In as few strokes as possible. That's the style of play. I like the guys that win. I think you've nailed something here. And that you answered that perfectly because that's how I didn't know how I would answer it. And I think that you answered it perfectly for what my brain was thinking, which is like, there aren't a lot of guys who I find myself. Scotty Scheffler, I like. I like him.
But does he have a swagger to him? You're like,
no, he has the opposite. He's got a when I watch Scotty Scheffler, I go, hey, I played around with that dude. that was that rando I got paired with at blank one time. He just has a very everyday common man thing about him. Rory, I don't feel like has that. Rory has that country club look. I have a hard time rooting for Rory. I don't find myself rooting for Rory to win. I'm not rooting against him. I want to be clear here. I have nothing against Rory at all. I don't care that he was anti-live. He kind of turned out to be right about some of that stuff. I don't mind that he is a traditionalist. I don't mind, again, some of his antics when he was 25. I don't hold that against him for the rest of his life or whatever. He may have done some things that were uncouth along the way, whatever you'd want to say. It's not that. It's that I don't feel any connection with Rory. And then you hear the stories about him. Did you hear about what he was doing this last week, dude?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. The advantage of money, my friend. He lives in Florida. Okay. Every day, and I don't want to say every day, but I do know early in the week, Rory was waking up at home in Florida, Jupiter, Florida, I believe,
he lives where Tiger, because I think Tiger lives in Jupiter too. It must be where all the golfers live. Jupiter.
Tiger, will you catch a ride with Rory sometime, dude? We can get into that too. I know why Tiger doesn't use a driver. But anyway, the Rory thing, he would wake up in Jupiter, Florida, or wherever it was, and take his daughter to school, and then get on his jet and fly to Augusta, play a round, get back on his jet, fly back home, and spend the afternoon with his family.
And he still won the Masters? I mean, think about how non-traditional that is. Usually you get yourself, but it's not like Augusta's that far from Florida. I mean, it's probably
45-minute flight, they said. 45-minute flight on his private jet. $50 million golf, whatever. I don't know.
I can respect that, right? You're like, I'm going to go take my kid to school.
Yeah, that's why I just say the advantage of having that money. Is it fair to the rest of the golfers? Because a lot of people were bitching and saying, "Wait, this isn't fair that he gets to spend."
What's not fair about it?
then win some Masters and buy a private jet, I guess.
I would actually say it's probably a disadvantage. Most golfers want to be on the range. They want to be, they want to know their familiarity. They'll be there all week. They're staying in the same house or cabin, wherever they're staying. Most golfers wouldn't get on a jet every single night and go see the family.
I wanted, and Humphrey, I'd like to challenge you on something here. He says, I don't find myself rooting for any golfer. They are mostly privileged people. You should not you shouldn't hold it against somebody because they're privileged. That you really shouldn't. I know that's a hard thing, and we live in a world where being the victim is, man, it's the best thing you can be in America right now, is the victim of injustice. And everybody is trying to find a classification that they can fit themselves in to make themselves the victim of injustice. He's privileged because his dad worked hard, because his family has been smart with their money, because he's worked his ass off in golf, because he's won a bunch of major championships, because he's in a position where he can have a private jet to fly him around, which very, very, very few people can do. Man, that shouldn't be something you hold against somebody. If they take that privilege and abuse other people with it, now I'm on your team. Now that's the problem. But to just say, oh my God, I don't like that guy. Why? Because he's got stuff. I think that I'd challenge you on that.
Is that jealousy or
what
envy?
Is this? And Driftless says that is right-wing radio nonsense. Is what I just said, is that right-wing radio nonsense to say, hey, don't hold the position people were born in against them?
It's what they do with it, right? I mean, if you become I don't think that's...
Okay, he means the victim thing. No, Driftless, I'll hold on to that. Dude, that's exactly what we do in America right now. I swear to God, it is a race to victimhood. I see it every day. I see this. It's a race to victimhood. You instantly got to be the one. Cops show up at the scene. It's the first. You got to. I see it all the time. That one I hold on to. I thought you meant the privilege comment. No, I'll.
Maybe getting some clarification here. John says Rory did that a couple of weeks before the Masters, not during the Masters.
John, I swore I saw that he was doing that earlier this week. I will fact check this real quick.
Still, either way, on your practice rounds?
This is from the Daily Mail. Rory McIlroy spills on his unconventional Masters prep involving a $50 million jet and dinners with wife Erica. Rory McIlroy has revealed the secrets behind his dominant form at the 2026 Masters. The defending champion has been making use of his $50 million private jet to fly back and forth to Augusta National for extra practice sessions on the course. While most golfers hunker down in Georgia for the week, McIlroy is opting to fly back to his Florida mansion every evening to maintain his routine. The Northern Irishman revealed that the strategy allows him to stay connected to his family, specifically his wife Erica and daughter Poppy. He said, quote, I honestly just don't like the 3 tournaments leading up to this event. I'd rather come up here. So, okay, that would imply that he did it throughout the previous weeks. Despite the travel time, let me see if there's anything about him doing it, because that would imply that it was weeks. Preparation of playing the scorecard with McIlroy. 2027, however the convenience. Single day of practice, including 4 hours.
All I hear you say is private jet, and all I hear is G5 for the Pecker. G5 for the Pecker.
Let's see. Explain the mini. Okay, so that's fair. I don't. I guess I don't see in that article that it was necessarily this week that he was doing that. But I have heard that, and that kind of alludes to it a little bit there. So I'm intrigued by that. But the stories that I had understood before this was that he was doing that this week of the Masters.
Hell, I would do it being only a 40-minute flight. Probably wherever you're staying is probably a half-hour drive to wherever you're going anyway.
My cousin's a big golf fan. He says he spent the 2 weeks leading up to the Masters. Okay. Chad, I thought we were going to be able to see Chad. Chad lives in Cedar Rapids. I thought we were going to be seeing him in a couple weeks.
No.
That's all right.
We'll be in Des Moines.
That's
See,
right.
Phil Garner died.
old Brewers manager?
Yeah.
Really? No, I didn't.
He had pancreatic cancer. He battled for 2 years. He was 76 years old. Ross, I remember Phil Garner more as a player than I do a manager. And that's because I'm old, and I remember him in the 1979 World Series where the Pirates were down 3-1, came back to beat Baltimore. In the NLCS in 1979, he hit .417. In the World Series, he hit .500. Incredible numbers. Had a 16-year playing career. Retired in 1988. Managed the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Astros. Took the Astros to their first World Series where they were swept, I believe, by the White Sox. But, yeah, Phil Garner. You always knew Phil because he had the mustache.
I'll be honest, dude. I only know that name as like the Brewers manager for a period of time. I did see, and Berger wrote in R.I.P. Davey Lopes.
Yeah,
Davey Lopes died last week. Davey Lopes is a guy I remember more than Phil Garner, honestly.
Do you remember Davey Lopes as a Dodger or a Cub?
Well, that's a funny one because he spent like 13 years with the Dodgers and like 3 with the Cubs.
Yeah.
But I remember him as a Cub.
Yeah, because Davey Lopes.
Davey Lopes and Manny Trio up the middle for the Hawks or for the Cubbies. And then they ended up trading Manny Trio for Ryan Sandberg.
Pretty good trade.
Do that one. They have good players on, honestly, because the Phillies got a really good player right away, and the Cubs got a Hall of Famer in Ryan Sandberg. There was somebody else involved in that trade. Ivan DeJesus or something like that. Maybe he was involved with that. Davey Lopes, though, that's a guy I do remember as the first. When I hear Davey Lopes, I see him in a Cubs uniform. But my baseball history reminds me right away he was a big part of those Dodgers teams for a long time. He seemed like a good guy too. But what do I know?
I know you're a UFC fan. Gable Steveson has signed with the UFC.
Okay, before you go any further into Gable Steveson, there was a fight this weekend that was one of the most incredible spectacles I've seen in the UFC. And I just so happened I didn't set out to watch it. I went out with dinner with Bill Blank and his girlfriend Kay, and Courtney and I went and had dinner with them at Chuck's. And we end up back at Bill's house. And I have to go downstairs and use the restroom, and I can hear Bill's brother freaking out. I mean, he's like, oh! I'm like, what is happening? He's like, you got to come in here and see this fight. Travis, it was 30 seconds into a heavyweight fight, and he was freaking out like that. And I walk in, and one of these dudes is leaking blood. And these two heavyweights stood in the ring and absolutely threw down. I mean, and it was incredible, Travis. So I wish, and somebody's going to have to help me out with the names of these two guys, okay?
So it wasn't the main event, I take it.
It wasn't the main event, and I learned right away, again, you got to, first filter here, guys, the UFC is becoming the WWE. It is all about the entertainment. And apparently there's this fighter who, he takes his post-fight press conferences and he is turning them into pure entertainment. He's got like this long list of rhymes that he does. I mean, right after the fight, the dude's bruised up, bloodied, and he puts on like big sunglasses and American flag bandana. And it's limousine riding, jet flying. You know what I mean? It's all this ridiculous stuff. Apparently, when he won his last fight, he went all in and did his whole America's the best routine. And at the end of it, he goes, I got one more thing to say, brother. Brittany Griner is a man. Like, what? What was that? Well, dude, it did what he wanted it to do. It got the people talking. It got the UFC to go, ooh, wow. We got to get this guy back up in front. It was Hokett versus Blades. Thank you, CJ. And Hokett is the guy that we're talking about here. Blades was one of the top 5 heavyweights in the UFC. Hokett has fought like 6-7 times, but again, he's played the game. So he's getting these big opportunities, and he won the fight. And so he got the mic in front of him again and did the same thing, where he just went full WWE, like takes the mic from Joe Rogan. Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Is that good for the UFC? Long term?
No. Long term, no. Great clarification there. Great clarification. No, it's not good for the UFC long term. Is it good for the UFC in the short term? Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about Gable Steveson going to the UFC?
Dude, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I've learned that about, for the most part, I shouldn't even say. I don't want to put an over 50% on it, Travis. I've seen great wrestlers be good fighters, and I've seen great wrestlers that weren't cut out for the MMA world. Look at Ben Askren. Ben Askren was one of my favorite college wrestlers of all time. Guy was dynamic, super fun to watch wrestle. And then he got into the MMA, and when he wasn't in the UFC, he was dominant. He beat everybody. He was undefeated, I think, until he came to the UFC. And then when he got into the UFC, it didn't go as well as it had. Randy Couture, Daniel Cormier. There have been guys that have been really good college wrestlers that have turned out to be Hall of Fame fighters. The best one might be Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson wrestled, I think, at Oklahoma State, and then he went on to be one of the best MMA fighters of all time.
I mean, really, since 2020 when he won the Olympic gold medal, Stevenson's career has been on a downward trajectory. I mean, he was accused of sexual assault. He then went to the WWE. They let him go, signed a professional football contract. The Bills let him go. Then he lost his last college match, which was an upset. It'd be interesting to see how this works out for him. I mean, he's a big dude,
and he's tough.
Yes,
and knows how to wrestle. But that is not those things. Being tough, first of all, everybody in the UFC is tough. Being able to take guys down on a wrestling mat is different than being able to take guys down in an MMA octagon.
Has that changed now? And you know it a lot better than I do. It used to be if you were those judo or jiu-jitsu guys, you had a big advantage. And they're saying, his wrestling is good. He needs to work on his striking. What's more important? Is it all the same now?
It's all the same. You got to have all of it. That's why it's mixed martial arts. You have to have a group of skills. So that Hockett fight that I was telling you about this weekend. Here's one of the things that was incredible about it, Trav, is that every time Blades would try to take him down, Hockett would stuff the takedown and then flip him off. Like 6 times during the fight, the dude stood in the middle of the ring and just gave the middle finger right in his opponent's face. I've seen dudes talk in the fight. I can remember when Nate Diaz beat Robbie Lawler and kept, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. Kept saying, slap him, Stockton. It's like, come on, Robbie, kick his ass. It was a spectacle. And I'm not saying good or bad. I'm telling you, I couldn't turn away. It was like, what am I watching here? And then between rounds, he didn't even sit down in his corner. He'd stumble around the ring. It was like performative art.
He's a personality. You'll be drawn to him. And so if you make a name for yourself, people will pay to see you. I think isn't that why on the White House lawn fight, they just added him to the I can't believe I just said that. They added him to the card.
What world do we live in, dude? Yeah, I think that I did see somebody say they added him to the White House card. By the way, Trump was there on Saturday, and there is a really good viral video right now that compares him walking into a UFC event last year to him walking into this event this weekend. 180-degree change. And by the way, the last year when President Trump was at an event, it was sold out to the brim. Travis, this thing was like half full.
Wow.
So when you talk about what's going on with the UFC, maybe this Hockett thing is they're trying to, I don't know.
Hey, if you're looking for a mortgage for your new home, call Gary Presno, a mortgage banker with Northwest Bank, financing residential homes the last 25 years. He offers a variety of loans, first-time buyer loans, conventional new construction loans, and it's all done locally by Northwest Bank. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes. It can happen after hours during the week or on weekends. So give Gary a call. He's the top-producing mortgage banker in the state of Iowa the past 8 years at 515-975-6767. I think we're going to have Gary on tomorrow to talk about like the top 5 things you need to do before you sit down to get pre-approved.
Yeah, you want to make that pre-approval process happen in 30 minutes? Few things you'll want to have. Gary can set it up.
Blake Boldon scheduled to join us when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is no job, you know. Front row tickets to every show, you know. Hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie, you know.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles, you know. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini Des Moines, and we have some exciting new offers going on this month. Right now, you can purchase an all-new 2026 Mini Countryman with up to $2,000 on that purchase and 0.9% at 48 months, or lease it as low as $369 a month with $4,200 down and leverage up to $2,500 towards it. For more information on these exciting offers and others on some of our other models in the lineup, visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor in our showroom or online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiskus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Hey guys, it's Zach here at Willis Infinity Service. Do you have a pollen allergy? Well, so does your car. Replace those clogged engine and cabin air filters with fresh new filters. During the month of April, you can get 20% off your new air filters and wiper blades during our fresh spring special. Schedule today at willisinfinity.com.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey, are you thinking about a vasectomy? Urology Center of Iowa offers a no-scalpel procedure that's quick, straightforward, and performed by specialists who do it every single day. Visit iowauro.com and click Schedule an Appointment. At Urology Center of Iowa, we see you. One of the biggest events in central Iowa is coming up the 19th through, the 25th? It's the Drake Relays. It's the Drake Relay. Kind of a big deal, Ross. It's a big deal. Right? Every single year?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was actually showing houses in the Drake neighborhood Friday afternoon, and I could hear the, I don't know if maybe Blake can tell us what they were doing, if they were just testing the PA or what it was, but I could definitely hear the old famous sounds of spring in the Drake neighborhood here with the PA system booming over there. How you doing, man? Good to see you, Blake.
Good to see you both. Good morning.
How you been?
I'm great. Yeah.
Busy?
As you just referenced, The Drake Relays themselves are just a few days away, but we got started this past weekend, Friday, with the Jim Duncan Invitational.
Okay.
So we had Hawkeye Cyclones, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, some Panthers, and a really great track and field meet on Friday. And then Saturday, so that was the university and colleges. And Saturday, we kept it rolling with really one of the biggest Iowa high school or Central Iowa high school track meets of the year, the Jim Duncan High School Invitational. And that included Little Hawkeye Conference, the Alliance League, Raccoon River, and then of course the CIML. So all those 3A and 4A schools in the Des Moines metro area were here, and all day Saturday had a heck of a track meet to start the year, despite constant threat of rain.
The constant threat, but that was
threat.
Yeah.
Do you do that do you do that purposely as a dry run for the Drake Relays to make sure everything is?
That's a big part of it. Make sure we remember what time to get food delivered for officials, and make sure all the equipment's working and get everything going. And it really serves. So it started more than 40 years ago as really Drake Track and Field's home meet, where those seniors, and every kid every student athlete on the Drake Track and Field team, it's an opportunity to compete at home. But then sometimes you have really outstanding student athletes that may not be at the athletic caliber of the Drake Relays, and it gives them a chance to compete, with their friends and family right here on campus. And then that high school element has continued to grow and really blossom into something special as well.
I was watching the Masters this weekend. One of the things that was fascinating to me was seeing how I saw this behind the scenes thing of how quickly they're able to repair the tee boxes. Because obviously, Rory goes up there, he takes a swing on and he takes a chunk out of the tee box, and they have this entire system of being able to do repairs right away. What do you guys do for track maintenance? If something happens during this Jim Duncan, how do you make sure that you're in the right position and have the track perfect for these world-class athletes?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because where we have biggest concerns when we've had a rainy spring or even a rainy track meet is where we throw the throwing implements, the hammer throw, the javelin. It's like divots on a fairway. Now we're not pretending for a moment that our throw sector are akin to the fairways at Augusta National, but it is important that we have a safe sector for officials to walk through to market the Drake Relays. So we made Friday morning a very quick evaluation that one of our sectors was underwater because we've just had so much rain, and that sector doesn't drain well. So we just moved the shot put to a different area. So and what I'll tell you, Drake University, not just Drake Athletics, but Drake University is fully committed to this. So we start with meetings in January, and they're monthly in January and February, and then weekly through March. And then by April, we're all too busy to have meetings. So we don't meet in April, but it's all of the facilities, grounds, custodial that are the heads for the university to schedule all of the work that you're talking about. So every dry day between now and next Tuesday, we will see painting done, signs being hung. Our skilled trades are ready to repair long jump boards if they get damaged at Jim Duncan, and make sure that we have more than enough for the Drake Relays. And then again, the same work goes in to prepare for state track.
Blake, I'm going to jump right in because I'm stupid when it comes to this, but I'm thinking out loud in my head. Of course, Drake Relays goes up against the Penn Relays. There's a bunch of competition. With today's rules, will the Drake Relays ever become an NIL meet, meaning the college winners get money?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, Travis, what I'll start by pushing back that there's no part of you that's stupid about any of this.
That's a good question.
You may not be a track and field nuanced expert, but you understand all of this. That's a distinct possibility. But I also might push back and back up a half step in that I don't know that we're necessarily competitors with Penn Relays in as much as we are competitors against the landscape of college sports.
Okay, that's fair.
You look at Wilt Chamberlain was a high jump champion at the Drake Relays. Herschel Walker ran on his 4x2 the same calendar year that he won a Heisman Trophy. This day and age, we see track and field greats like Tristan Wirfs and Cooper DeJean, who are Drake Relays champion and then champions at high school, that then went on to play a prominent role in the Super Bowl, each of them as Iowa high school natives. Those athletes in the Wilt Chamberlain and Herschel Walker era, or even Tim Dwight era, if we think more a little bit more recently and a little bit more locally, they would have been track and field athletes in college. Now they never touched the track again, or they never, like in Tristan's case, just like he never wrestled again, he'll never throw a shot put again. From the day he left the high school state meet, we all knew that. And that continues. Like, so there's an Olympic champion, Christian Cantwell. His son is from Missouri, was setting all of the national high school records. And well, he signed a $2 million NIL deal to play football at Miami. So that guy is never going to have to touch, or never will choose to touch the shot put or a discus again, unlike his dad, who made his living far less than $2 million a year throwing shot put as one of the very, very best in the world. So there's the way money has changed college football and basketball, then changes track and field.
Wow.
That's at the micro level. And then at the macro level, even Power 4 schools with revenue sharing and resources, it may feel unlimited, but you all, I'm sure, have heard from Jamie Pollard and the challenges Iowa State faces versus even some Big 12 peers. And not to say that Iowa State's got a very healthy track program and they remain committed there, but there are many peers that don't have a track and field person as a track guy, so to speak, as their AD. So they are de-emphasizing Olympic sports in terms of travel budgets, salaries, staffing, and they are less likely to travel to a meet where the weather is less than certain. So they are all headed to Southern California, to Florida, to Texas in the spring, where it kind of becomes like baseball, where it's less of a Midwestern sport to a degree. So Penn has its own challenges, and we have those same challenges, and they're challenges that if you are like me and follow track and field every day all year round. Last September, the Kansas Relays, after 102 years of tradition and history, announced that they will discontinue their event for 2026. So it's like, well, we're doing great, but it's a very different landscape. So I didn't come on today to say, oh my gosh, the Drake Relays are in trouble. It's more a matter of that college space. We're not at the point where we're talking about NIL. We're talking about continuing to attract the schools that are coming this year: Gonzaga, Oregon State, Utah, and then of course those Big 10, Big 12 schools, and Missouri in the case of the SEC, to bring their whole squads here. So entries in our college and university closed last night, and at least by numbers, we're healthier than ever. We had more than 7,000 entries for far fewer spots than that. I don't remember exactly, but we're going to take about 3,000, 2,500 or 3,000 athletes. So there's still high demand for the Drake Relays, and it's still a very important meet on the collegiate calendar. It just has taken a different shape, where don't buy your ticket coming expect to see a Heisman Trophy winner or an NFL or NBA prospect in their junior year of college.
Oh man, you just got to put a lot more questions in my head, Blake. So like we saw Iowa State eliminate their gymnastics program. We've seen schools eliminate are track and field programs being eliminated at smaller schools. Are we starting to see this NIL thing that you're talking about start to tick back programs?
Well, yeah, and I would say that's been particularly in men's track and field, that's been a big challenge over the long arc. So, when we look at like in the 1970s, one of the big Olympic stars is Dave Waddle. Well, he ran at Bowling Green. Bowling Green no longer has men's track and field. Wow. I ran at Southwest Missouri State. It became Missouri State University in the Missouri Valley Conference. The following year, 20 years ago, they dropped men's track and field. And then, of course, they've continued to.
Blake, do you ever just look at that as that they decided it couldn't get any better than Blake Boldon, and so they decided might as well shut it down?
Or Ross, maybe my teammates and I broke it and they couldn't fix it. I'm not sure, one or the other. Yeah. But it was, I can joke about it now, but it's really a sad feeling for I can empathize with the gymnasts at Iowa State or any athlete that loses their program, particularly those alums, because it's a little bit like having your birthday taken away, in a sense that you imagine yourself with your teammates coming back and watching track and cheering on the young guys and following that program. And in the last 2 years, what I would say is there have been a number of smaller colleges, D2 and D3, that are adding men's and women's track and field because it remains a very healthy sport. In Iowa, it's the number one participatory sport in the state with boys and girls.
Wow.
So then colleges across America are saying, how do we get those kids to come to our schools?
Yeah.
But then at the Power 4 level, or that one next step down, it's where the challenges really are. So those group of 5 schools that are trying to invest everything they can to become highly competitive in football. So Washington State is the most recent example that comes to mind. They didn't drop men's track and field or women's track and field, but a year ago, they made a very public statement that they were dropping every element of track and field except for distance running. So then they were able to eliminate coaches because they no longer needed jumps coaches or throws coaches, and they were able to reduce the roster. And then if they can invest heavily, whether at the top Americans or international athletes, their cross country team got a lot better. So that's an example of aligning resources to achieve some goals. But Washington State, in the long arc of track and field, that's where in the 1970s the first woman ever threw a hammer. So that's very nuanced trivia, but just to say that is a historic program that now will only have distance runners going forward. And I think the group of 5, so that's Conference USA, maybe the American now, the MAC here in the Midwest with schools like Kent State and Akron and Northern Illinois. Well, no, Northern Illinois no longer, but that level of track and field is where we see the greatest challenges in terms of just saving programs.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a scary thing that you just described there that feels like, when the human body is dying, it sucks all the resources inside. It lets the extremities die first. That feels like that's what's happening there when you say, all right, we're gonna concentrate all the resources inside here. It feels like that's kind of the first step of a dying process.
Well, college athletics as an industry is thriving, as you all know. I mean, we talked about March Madness, and of course, everybody that's got a sports talk wants to talk about who's going to make the March, NCAA tournament. Who are the way too early favorites, right? And we talk about college football playoffs. How many teams is the right team? What do the bowls look like? But what I would say is track and field and the Drake relays. When I hear like what is the college, the bowl season, so to speak, and the tradition of Rose Bowl and and maybe outside of those traditional New Year's Day bowls, that feels a little bit like what's happening to the Drake relays, where the future is uncertain, and there's a lot of tradition and some incredible performances that still happen, but tradition and performance alone isn't enough to keep the Drake relays or any entity healthy.
Yeah, but I'll add on to that because you mentioned the Kansas relays discontinued after 102 years. If I'm correct, because we talked earlier, today is the official 90th anniversary of the Drake relays, correct?
116th, actually.
116th. Okay, now
That's
hear
right.
me out. Hear me out. The reason, you tell me if I'm wrong, the reason Drake is considered one of those Rose Bowl or premier events is because you're still in Drake Stadium with thousands and thousands of people. When Kansas took the track out of the football field and moved it to a secondary regular track, nothing against regular track, it took away the pomp and circumstance of a crowd.
Aesthetic a little bit? Yeah, Trav, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
See, I told you you're not stupid on this stuff.
He never is, Blake. The dude has an insane encyclopedia brain for some of this stuff. It's wild. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. They built a state-of-the-art track and field and soccer venue and pulled it away from football. I think in an effort to bring football fans closer to the sideline and reinvest in their football stadium, which is an intelligent move when you're Power 4 football, because they were one of the very last that still had a track. We never had a track at Kinnick or Jack Trice. And so they were one of the very last. And then when they did that, it elevated their opportunity to host NCAAs, but it definitely took them out of the heart and soul of what Kansas athletics is. So it became, and Travis, I would point to that as one of several key factors. They had several, when I was an athlete, 20 years ago, they had several years in a row. Kansas, Des Moines, we get severe weather, and everyone talks about the challenges we face with weather. But at Kansas, they had tornadoes and severe thunderstorms several years in a row. So coaches stopped putting the Kansas relays on their schedule because you can't have a meet on your schedule that you aren't sure is going to happen. And so that's been one thing that has insulated us a little bit, is the stadium, the fans, and then we have had better luck than that. And I'll just maybe touch wood and hope for the same this year. But that's what does continue to make it so those schools from the West Coast this year and schools from all in the Midwest particularly feel the Drake Relays remains a destination, because there is no place else in the college landscape where, you know, they can come, literally 3,000 high school or college athletes compete alongside the world's best and the Olympians, and sit in front of 15,000 fans who appreciate them and give them a standing ovation when they set a record, or when they get their white champions flag and they do a lap. They'll have kids getting autographs and selfies this day and age. So it really is a unique collegiate experience. And while the weather isn't what attracts them, that experience and a knowledgeable fan base. And I hear stories from former athletes all the time, coaches, where, like using Katie Flood as an example, when she was at Washington, my predecessor, Brian Brown, was successful in bringing the whole entire Washington team back to Des Moines. The Washington team was staying out in West Des Moines, and they were shopping in Trader Joe's. Katie was not with them. And I've gotten to know this story from coaches and athletes that were at Washington at the time. They got stopped in Trader Joe's pretty much on every aisle. Hey, do you guys know Katie Flood? And because there is a knowledge of track and field, because media members like you guys talk about track and field, and people follow track.
We only talk about it when you
We
come
try.
on, but
Yeah,
we
right.
try. Now, I mean, to show my age, you probably weren't watching earlier, but I dropped Roger Bannister's name earlier. So, I mean,
there you go. There you go. Yeah. Well, but I guess maybe more is in Des Moines. So I've lived in Indianapolis and Philly and Alabama and Birmingham, Alabama, and Colorado Springs. None of those places do I ever remember. And I've always been a local news junkie. You know, I just watch the 10 o'clock or the 6 o'clock when I can. And none of those markets ever have high school track and field on. In Des Moines, you know, on Saturday, we had KC, you know, the CBS affiliate, KCCI, was here to cover high school track because it is a significant cultural element here in Iowa. Just like when I lived in Indianapolis, IndyCar is on the 10 o'clock news 365 days a year, it seems.
Yeah.
Not high school track, but IndyCar. So here, we're not talking IndyCar, but we are talking track and field.
All right, Trav, back to Blake, back to Travis's one of his first questions. The pay for performance thing, or the pay for performance model. Is there a avenue within NIL where that could happen, where you're able to offer a cash prize for the 100-meter dash winner, or you're able to offer a cash prize for the high jumper, long jumper, pole vault?
Yeah. So at NCAA currently, at least for individuals in track and field, prize money remains prohibited. So you can't really pay for play. You could, there is a scenario that with college athletes, you could likely arrange for them to make appearances. So autograph signings and meet and greet, or maybe even to participate, but based like to create a collegiate prize structure. Currently remains prohibited by NCAA rules. And that, frankly, for our budget and for the way this needs to go for college track and field, I hope that doesn't change. Not to say that I'm not an athlete's advocate, but it would just make the finances of track and field even more challenging. But there were some tennis. So on the individual sports side, tennis athletes have gotten together and had a class action lawsuit against the NCAA to try to change that. So I've been watching that one very closely, because if it changes in tennis, it's possible that then spring sports like golf, tennis, you know, anything that's individual, swimming, certainly track and field, might follow suit. And I don't know what that would mean for us, because we just would not have a budget to really create the space for that. But as the Drake Relays has done now for 116 years, literally to this date, will continue to evolve and be on the tip of the rocket, so to speak.
So before we let you go, it starts on the 19th. So who are some of the bigger, names coming in, and just kind of take us through the schedule and get people fired up about the relays?
So we actually, the Drake Relays competition starts on Saturday, the 18th. We've got the Drake Road Races. So that one is really a community element. We don't put prize money into it. So we do attract runners from dozens of states. And I don't know that number this year off the top of my head, but it's usually in excess of 30, maybe 40 states from across the country. We'll have 4,500 runners, but those are certainly community-based. It's a very community-based event, 5K, 10K, and half marathon. We do have some limited registrations available, so you guys are both welcome to come up and join us for a 5K.
Oh, man, I my ankle. I would, but my ankle.
I saw Travis's face. Yeah, I thought maybe he just pulled a hammy, right, live on air.
I can't run. My shoulder hurts. I can't run right now, Blake. Sorry.
But fair enough. But there will be more than 4,500 people that do. So we're excited to start on Saturday. And then Sunday, we have the beautiful Bulldog contest at 2 p.m. Free event for the community to come out. That one, I can't say that it continues to grow because they limit the field size, the competitor number to 24. But
when you say, are you talking about the beautiful Bulldog?
Oh yeah, they're competitors. The dogs and their owners take it very seriously. You got to come up and see it, Travis and Ross. You got to look at it sometime because it is the perfect celebration of silliness, and the demand for this continues to grow. In that, in March we did a lottery to determine the dogs to be selected. There were 117 dogs that entered the lottery from 13 states.
Has anybody ever not entered a Bulldog?
Wait, the Bulldog doesn't have to be from Iowa?
No, people from all over the country want to come and they think their dog's the most beautiful. So it has to be an English Bulldog and meet the breed standards. But yeah, it's a very real thing. And then
it's taken very seriously. I've learned over the years of poking fun at this thing, and my phone has rang a few times and said, "Hey, can you please not make fun of this? We really like this thing and take it pretty seriously." And I'm like, okay.
It's a fun event, but you can have fun, but not make fun. That's probably the right way to say it.
Blake, we love having you on, man. Congratulations on racing up to another fun event. Good luck this week. Thank you so much for hopping on with us. This was really great information, and I think we should probably have you on a little bit more to talk about some of these NIL changes and things that are happening. That's great.
Deeper conversations with us too. So
and we're headed toward our 58th Saturday sellout. So those tickets are going fast. Cool. DrakeRelays.org.
There he finally got it in. DrakeRelays.org. Blake, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Bye, buddy.
See you guys.
See ya. Blake Boldon from the
That's
Drake
a
Relays.
fun conversation.
Yeah.
Gets my brain going.
I was just thinking about that pay. I'm like, everybody wants money.
Dude, and wouldn't that entice it if it were like $100,000 for the winner of the I'm just
$100,000.
I'm just saying,
wouldn't
$10,000 do enough to be like, whoa?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just interested if that's a hope the tennis players win that lawsuit.
You're probably going to end up having to pay teams to come in, and then that money's distributed or whatever that looks like.
Someday.
Thanks again to Blake Boldon. Tomorrow, Gary Presnell going to be joining us, I believe, around 6:30. We'll teach you how to get pre-approved.
Yeah, I'll pre-approve that Gary's going to join us at 6:30.
Everybody have a great Monday. It's a good start of the week. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Spring is here and our inventory is blooming at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. With over 90 vehicles in stock, there's never been a better time to find your perfect Chevy. Right now you can get supplier pricing on new Silverados, conquer the spring and summer without breaking the bank. We also have a large selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for your driveway. So shake off the winter at Willis Chevrolet in Granger or online at willischevy.com.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.